All right, guys, how's it going? Headline over there, Roberto Firmino has explained why Mohamed Salah Liverpool contract talks might not have happy ending. And basically then it says Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah are both out of contract at Liverpool in 2025. This is an article that was published today on the Echo website by Theo Squires. And it uses quotes from Firmino's book, where he explained what happened to him during contract negotiations. And basically it's all to do with being an older player and the ownership wanting to offer you, lesser terms. You understand that maybe, you know what I mean? You may be not seen as at your peak anymore or whatever. Some players like to squeeze a little bit more at their final years, like one last contract, but maybe they have to get a move somewhere else to do that. But I want to read to you these words from Firmino, just to give you a little bit of insight on it all. And it's very interesting, so do stick with this one. And I think in these words that he talks about that the money wasn't an issue for him. He was willing to take a substantial reduction. The manager Jurgen Klopp wanted him to stay at Liverpool, but he was in effect really, pushed out. Really, do you know what I mean? Over money. So, but I'll leave you to be the judge of that, because we do have to take into account a player's age. And performance and appearances and things like that. Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah are not 23, 24 years of age, so, but are they still worth the money? Yeah. I will read you the quotes and you form your own opinions with it, right? And I'll give mine. So this is Firmino speaking. In August 2022, while still on pre-season, Liverpool told my representatives that they wanted me to stay. A contract renewal wasn't something I lost sleep over back then. It seemed like a formality, a matter of time, right? Because obviously he wanted to stay. My representatives were talking with the club about the contract renewal and disagreements were starting to arise. The club saw things one way, we saw them another. I had 8 goals in 9 games. There were less than 2 months left until the World Cup, and Klopp called me for a conversation in his hotel room before a match. We really want to keep you, he said. He insisted that if we just sorted out the salary, we could speed up the renewal process. I agreed with him. It shouldn't be a problem. I told him I would discuss the matter with my agents and ask them to finalise the deal. He reached out, showed interest, and I was happy. There was no way this could go wrong. We returned from Dubai, and then it was time to definitely sort out my contract, which had always been my desire. I made my intentions clear to my agents. I wanted to stay. I didn't want to hear about offers from other European clubs or other parts of the world. My life was in Liverpool. A difference in opinion about my role was emerging. In the view of my representatives, I was a top-tier player in world football and should be given a renewal that reflected that. From the club's business perspective, not the coaching perspective, Roberto Firmino's peak had passed. My salary was quite high. Significant investments had been made in new players and some contract extensions. In the club's view, the future was secured with Gakpo, Darwin, Luiz and Jota, and of course Salah had renewed his contract. I still thought there was a place for me in this attack. Klopp had told the management he wanted me to stay, but the club's view was that I would no longer be a protagonist. I accepted a shorter contract, 1 year instead of 2. I told the club I would accept a significant salary reduction. That wasn't an issue. Money didn't matter. But the communication was muddled and responses were slow. 1 week, 3 weeks, a month. Now, this, do you know what I mean? It just makes it sound like now, doesn't it, guys, with these other... Because, come on, look, all these people working for the club now, have you seen how many appointments they've had? Eh? Do you know what I mean? All these different people, FSG this, LFC that, directors, vice directors, you know what I mean? But they hadn't had time to sort these contracts. It was fucking a bit strange to me. Communication was muddled and responses were slow. 1 week, 3 weeks, a month. We kept compromising. But it didn't seem like there was a real willingness on the other side to finalise negotiations. Things dragged on through January and February. By that point, my agents told me that they were only continuing negotiations with the club out of respect for my desire to stay and the love we had for Liverpool. In other words, his agents were like, do you know what? We're fucking sick of this lot. Fuck these, we'll go somewhere else. But because they knew he wanted to stay, they were like, all right, yeah, we know you want to stay. You've got great love for Liverpool and all that. None of this surprises me. I've never read this before, by the way. I haven't read his book. On the field, I wasn't the figure I had been. My grip on a place, even more precarious. I was ready. I was back, but I wasn't playing. The boss was avoiding me now. I wanted to demand an explanation for what was happening, but I couldn't get his attention. A concern that didn't exist before, a possibility I had never truly imagined was becoming real. Maybe they really didn't want me. Maybe it really was over. The straw that broke the camel's back was a match against Wolves, in which I came on as a substitute in the last minute. That was it. Right there, I understood. The penny dropped. I knew now. I called my agents, Roger Whitman and Christian Rapp met with me, with me for a face-to-face talk. Christian and Roger were perfectly transparent about everything that was happening and the club's view of my future. It wasn't a war, it was just a difference in understanding about what I could offer Liverpool. I couldn't avoid it anymore. It was time to accept. I decided it was time to seek another challenge for myself, another purpose. My time at Liverpool had come to an end. If it was difficult for them to say, well, I would say it. If it was difficult for them to say, well, I would say it, I'm not staying, I'll go. I don't really understand that. If deep in their head they weren't sure about extending my contract, if they didn't know what to do, then for the good of everyone, I would have made the decision to leave. I didn't understand that last bit a little bit too much, but basically Firmino was one of the highest earners at the club then, like Salah and Van Dijk are now. The difference is, I think, that maybe Firmino wasn't, playing as much as them. It might be slightly different. But I think I understand, a club's stance on, a player becoming older and trying to reduce the terms and stuff like that. But Firmino was still a great player at the time. And then obviously the manager wanted him to stay. The manager said that, I want you to stay, I want you to stay, I want you to stay. Compromise is the message we're getting there. Then if Klopp suddenly being told, no, we're not doing it, then that puts Klopp in a situation, doesn't it? So he's like, what can I do? So the bit I'm taking from this is it's history, so it's irrelevant, right? But I still think it shows the bit that I'm thinking there, I'm reading that where he said, getting a response from them, it was a week, 3 weeks, a month. I just feel like, I can just imagine that going on with some respect. We've seen this before. We've seen this mentioned earlier this year. No response from Liverpool, nothing from Liverpool, nothing from Liverpool. I don't know. And people, say the sun shines out of Edward's arse and they all wanted him back at the club and all that. But I still think that is at the expense of Jurgen. I can't help but think that Jurgen and Edwards just don't go together. And we've seen so many things, haven't we, guys, about Jurgen having too much power at the club and that, Anyway, I'm just telling you what Firmino had to say, really. But it's just, for me, from my point of view, I do wonder if there's a bit of that going on. Well, you see, the thing is, they're very clever. So if they announce a signing a number 6, maybe someone else, before deadline day, that's going to change the mood. And then announce contract extensions, everyone's going to go, this is fucking great. And then the season's on, and we can focus on the football, and everyone's going to be delighted again. And that's what it's like being a Liverpool fan, isn't it? It was like that last summer. I remember it being like that last summer. Everyone was really, really down and depressed. And then the mood changed. I don't know about you, but all I want is for the transfer window to close and just get on with the football. It seems like an eternity since we watched Liverpool play. I'm talking competitive football. And I just want it, I'm drained with it, to be honest with you. But at the same time, even if the window closes, we've still got to sort out these contractual situations. I don't know. Our club just doesn't seem to operate like other clubs. And it just doesn't seem to operate like it used to operate. It's very strange. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe what they do this summer, maybe what they do with the contracts, maybe we'll look back and go, genius, pure genius, appointing Arne Slot as Liverpool manager. He's not manager, he's head coach. amount of fucking people that say that to me. You should watch my YouTube comments because I just reply and put thanks for letting me know. Oh, my auntie sent me a voice message. Right. And it is what time? 1 o'clock. 2 hours to go. Sorry, it's my 1 o'clock here, 12 o'clock in the UK. So 2 hours to go until my first live stream in a long time. And then we'll do one this evening at 7. All right, if I can stay awake. So I'm feeling a bit tired. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. If you've got a comment on any of this, on Firmino or the way the club is run, or do you think there's something like this going on in the background now, or whatever, just your opinions. You don't have to agree with me. You know, we're all, grown-ups around here. You're all allowed opinions. I love it when people have a different opinion, to be honest with you. It's just the way people express them. So yeah, do leave one. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, hit the super thanks button. That's the love heart under the video, and I'll give you a shout out in tomorrow morning's morning briefing as a way of showing my appreciation. All right, guys, cheers.